Okay, let's look at some equations to determine if they represent parallel lines, perpendicular lines, or neither. So we have to remember what we look at to determine that. So we look at the slope of the lines and the y-intercept. Remember that parallel lines have the same slope and different y-intercepts. Parallel lines have the same slope and different y-intercepts. So looking at the slope here for these two equations, slope 3 is the same and y-intercept 5 and 4 are different. So that fits the definitions of parallel lines, same slope and different y-intercept. So same slope, different y-intercept. So that's parallel lines. Parallel lines. Okay, let's take a look now at this situation. Determine if the equations represent parallel lines, perpendicular lines, or neither. So let's take a look here. Y is equal to 7x minus 2. Y is equal to 1/7 x plus 3. So the slopes are not the same, 7 and 1/7. So we might now check for perpendicular lines. Remember, perpendicular lines are negative reciprocals. One's positive, one's negative, and they're reciprocals, or their product is -1. So are 7 and 7 reciprocals? Yes. Reciprocals. Is one positive and one negative? There is not a negative, is there? So, although it looked promising for them to be perpendicular lines, 7 and 1/7 multiply. They have a product of 1, not -1. Okay, so that means they're not parallel because the slopes are not the same, and they're not perpendicular because the slopes are not negative reciprocals. So the answer here is neither parallel nor perpendicular. All right, let's look at one more of these. Let's determine if the equations represent parallel lines, perpendicular lines, or neither. Okay. These equations are not in the form where we can see the slope and y-intercept, so the first thing we need to do is change that. So we need to rewrite both equations. So let's solve for y here. We could subtract 3x from both sides. That would give us negative y is equal to negative 3x minus 4. And then we need to multiply or divide all terms by -1 so that y becomes positive. And that will change the sign of all other terms as well. That gives us y is equal to positive 3x plus 4. Alright, now let's do the same work for the other equation. We need to isolate y. We start by subtracting x from both sides. That gives us 3y is equal to negative x plus 12. And now we need to divide all terms by 3. And that gives us y is equal to, that's an understood -1 in the numerator here, so negative 1/3 x plus 12 over 3 simplifies to 4. Alright, now remember that we're looking at slope and possibly y-intercept. So slopes here, are our slopes the same? Here's this slope and here's this slope. So they're not the same, 3 and negative 1/3, but possibly they are negative reciprocals. 3 is positive, negative 1/3 is negative. Are 3 and 1/3 reciprocals? Yes, they are negative reciprocals. And remember, that means that they're perpendicular. Okay? Doesn't matter what the intercepts are. If their slopes are negative reciprocals, then we know that they are perpendicular. So we're going to choose perpendicular lines here.